Hello everyone. On a recent cruise, Kathy and I ate a couple of times at Sabatini's on Ruby Princess, and we really enjoyed the food we had there. In fact, I've recreated at least one dish already. They always start their meal service with an amuse-bouche, and it is arancini. Those are those risotto fried little rice balls, and they're served with marinara sauce. And today, I have a birthday party to go to. Let me see whose birthday. Oh, it's my birthday. And yes, I have to cook at my birthday, so that's okay. So I've been tasked to make an appetizer. So today I am going to make arancini as we saw on our Princess cruise. First thing we have to do is make the marinara sauce, because I want to have that cook a little bit. So I'm about 2 hours from having to go and serve these. So I'm going to start the sauce right now. So all we're going to need for our marinara sauce, and this is going to be simple marinara sauce, and actually this recipe is already on Calm Sea Cooks. You can check it out. We're just going to use a shallot today, some garlic, some Italian seasoning, and I just have a can of tomato sauce. You could use crushed tomatoes. If you had a lot of time, you could use whole tomatoes. Probably would be better, but I don't have a huge amount of time, so we're going to use tomato sauce. I'm going to have a little red wine in there, and we'll have to add a little salt and pepper. This has got a lot of salt in it, so not a whole lot. All right, let's start by just dispatching our vegetables here. I'm just going to go ahead and dice up the shallot. And again, I don't have to be real precious with this. It's marinara sauce, and it's going to cook down for a couple hours. So these shallots will break down. But I am going to try to have them be a little bit of a dice. All right. Good enough. And then we're going to have a clove of garlic. And we'll go ahead and dispatch the garlic. Whoops, get off of there. Just give it a whack. That'll break it so the skin can come off. And I'm going to slice this up. Again, thin, but I'm not being real precise. That's really it for aromatics. We're going to use just garlic and shallots. So we can go ahead and start this cooking on the stove, and this will be real simple. This is the simplest part of this whole production. Once we start making the balls, the arancini balls that we're going to fry, there's a little bit involved in that. And oh, of course, you need to have made risotto and have it available to you. Now, in real time yesterday, I made our recipe for mushroom risotto, so I have some mushroom risotto that we're going to use. You can also check that recipe out as well. All right, let's get cooking. All right, so let's get started. I have my saucier pan, but you could use a saucepan or anything. I'm going to use get some olive oil out of our stash here, and I don't know, tablespoon of olive oil. We'll go ahead and get our shallots underway. This can be more of a, again, kind of a sweat that we're doing. So with the sweat, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. That helps get the moisture out. Don't want to add too much because our tomato sauce is fairly salty to begin with. And this will just take 3-4 minutes to soften up. So our shallots have softened a little bit, so let's go ahead and add our garlic. The garlic is, I'm just trying to get the garlic fragrant. And again, you may go, man, those are big pieces of garlic. It's going to break down and they will become just kind of part of the whole sauce, so it'll be fine. I'm just going to wait till the garlic becomes fragrant. And again, you never want to burn garlic. It makes it super bitter, and it's kind of a taste you can't avoid. once it's in there. So we have to be careful not to burn our garlic. And I'm on a real low, as you can see, there's more of a sweat, so it's a real low temperature. So I'm just waiting so I can smell the garlic, which I'm starting to smell. Okay, let's go ahead and get our tomato sauce on board. And this is just a, what is this? 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. I do not need a whole lot of this. It's not like I'm going to serve pasta with it or anything, so one can will be okay. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. And you always have like some of the tomato sauce you can't get out of the can. That's where my wine comes in, because I don't mind if it has a little red wine in the sauce. So what I do is I just take maybe a quarter cup of red wine in there. If this was a bigger batch, you can use more wine. And just give it a swirl around in the can, and that'll go ahead and get your tomato out and give a little wine bonus to your sauce. So we'll go ahead and get this stirring, or underway here. I do have to check for seasoning at this point. Before I put any Italian seasoning in here, I just want to check this for salt. Let me grab a tasting spoon here. Now, the tomato sauce is going to be cold, so this will be kind of gross, but you can get the salt level. Okay, that needs a little bit of salt. So we'll add, I don't know, half a teaspoon of salt in there, and you can use some pepper. Okay, that's our basic salt and pepper that we have there. So now we can go ahead and add our Italian seasoning. Now, how much of this should you add? I'm pretty aggressive with this. In fact, I'm just gonna dump some in here. That's maybe 2 tablespoons of the dry Italian seasoning. And that's just a mix of oregano and rosemary, thyme, basil, things like that. Okay, so that is the basic marinara sauce that we're going to use for our arancini to dip in. I'm going to go ahead and let this kind of go. And you ever heard the phrase putting something on the back burner? I am literally going to put this on the back burner and turning it to very low and just a simmer. There we go. And that's just going to go for a couple hours until we're ready to go. That's your basic marinara sauce that we're going to use for our arancini. So I'm going to call time out now for maybe half an hour, and then I'll start to make the arancini balls that we're going to fry. One thing with food you're going to fry is it's kind of a good idea on a lot of things that are going to go, that are breaded and fried, to cool them off before they go in the fryer. So we're going to make arancini balls, kind of set them up on a little bit of a rack here, and let them go in the refrigerator for about half an hour just to cool off and let the breadcrumbs kind of absorb into the thing, into the arancini ball. So when we fry it, it doesn't fall off. And that's a good way to kind of ensure that doesn't happen. So we will see you in about half an hour when we start to make our arancini balls. All right, see you then. Okay, so some time has passed and we're ready to start the production of our arancini balls. I have the risotto. It's probably 3 cups there. I don't know that I'm gonna turn them all into arancini, but I don't think I'm gonna need all of that for today's party. There's about 10 people coming. I'm gonna shoot for like 24 of these. They'll be like 1.5 inch, 2-inch balls. I have a couple of eggs beaten, some breadcrumbs that will go inside the arancini, and then some breadcrumbs, Italian breadcrumbs that will roll the risotto in. So that'll be that kind of crunchy outside that arancini is famous for. I have some Parmesan cheese that's been grated up, and that's maybe a half a cup. And then we are going to stuff these with some cheese. Now, mozzarella would be a good choice. I happen to have some Colby Jack cheese, so I'm going to use that. That'll melt up pretty nicely, and we'll go from there. So production is going to start with me putting on some gloves, because this is going to be one of those pretty gummy things, and I don't want to get my hands all sticky. So we'll go ahead and glove up. Just makes everything a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to add some of the egg mixture. Again, this is a binder. This will help them keep in their ball shape. The Parmesan cheese. The breadcrumbs that are going to go in here, they're not the same as these breadcrumbs. Not because I think that's important, because I ran out. So I had to make some of my own breadcrumbs. So this is just homemade breadcrumbs that I added a little Italian seasoning that we used earlier to make them Italian breadcrumbs. And I'm going to put those in there. And that was maybe, again, half a cup or so. And we'll mix all this up. So if any of you have ever made meatloaf, it feels very similar. But instead of meat, we're using this risotto to kind of get it into a thing that we can roll into balls. Oops. So I am just kind of rolling this around to try to incorporate the breadcrumbs, the Parmesan, and the eggs into the risotto to make that nice and kind of cohesive. I can tell you right now, let me just give it a check to see, can you roll this into a ball? And the answer is, yeah, pretty easily. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You rinse my glove off. And we're going to use our sheet tray here with a rack on it to start. So here's our first one. That is about the size I want. And let's see how the cheese goes in there. So I'm just going to kind of stick that in there, wrap it around, re-roll it. So I'm going to do this about 24 times. So we'll speed this up for you, because I don't think you want to watch me make 24 of these. It's not that exciting. So I'll be back. Okay, so rinse these off and take them off a little bit. So I thought I was going to get 24 out of this. I thought I was going to get more than 24 out of this. I did not. I got 18. Oops, my little bowl broke. Got 18 arancini balls. Now they're fairly big, so it'd probably be okay. Let me clean up a little bit, because I'm a slob here. And we'll go ahead and roll these in our breadcrumbs to dust them. I'm going to get some more gloves. I'm going to get one glove, because I'm going to be like Michael Jackson on this one. I'm just going to use the one glove. I think that'll be okay. Don't break them in half. All right, so let's see how this goes. So I'm just going to roll this around, kind of cover it up. I'm being very gentle with these. Because, and this is why you cool them off. It just makes them a little more stable. Yeah, some of these are pretty big. I think this will be fine. There's, I imagine that there will be some people that don't eat any of them, and most people will eat one, and the one person will eat two, and you know who I know who he is. He'll have two of them, and that's fine. But that should be good enough. All right, let me finish the rest of these, and then we're going to put this in the refrigerator, and we'll then do our final step, which is fry a couple of these up, and we'll see how they are. So we'll be back with you when we're ready to do that. All right, in the refrigerator. Okay, so we are ready to fry some of these to see where we're at, and then eventually fry all of them. We have our rig kind of set up. Sorry, the camera's already on, but we have our arancini that we are ready to fry. I have a neutral oil here that I'm going to try to get to about 350 in our rack to exit them on. All right, let's take a look at how our oil is doing. And we are right about 350. So let's try a couple. I'm going to use our little spatula thing here and kind of roll them in there. You want to make sure they don't hit each other. This is going to take 3 or 4 minutes to do. I think we'll put a couple more in there. What you don't want to do is throw so many in there that you change the oil temperature radically. All right, so I do check periodically to make sure that we haven't gone too high or too low. I'm going to lower it a little bit. Now, in a perfect world, I would have a deep fryer. I just don't have a deep fryer, so we're using, like I said, a canola oil or vegetable oil, something that has a higher smoke point. And all I'm going to do with this, since everything in here is cooked, there's two things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to melt the cheese on the inside, and I'm trying to brown up the outside nice and evenly. And I'm going to say it's going to take 3 minutes to do that. Again, checking our oil temperature. Don't want it to get too hot. It's at 360. It's okay. What you'll notice as you gently move these around is the outer shell will start to get kind of hard. And that's what you want. You want, flip over, there you go. You want to have kind of a crispy outside. I think these should be pretty golden brown. I don't want to pull anything out that's pale at all. All right. What's good is I don't see any like cheese obviously leaking out, so we haven't really got to the point where it's really over. All right, let's start taking these out. And I'm putting them on our dry or our out rig for frying, which is a sheet pan with the rack upside down, so it is separated from that. Sorry, anytime you fry something, you should probably just hit it a little bit with some salt. And we can check our oil temperature, make sure it hasn't got too hot or too cold. 350, so we're just right where we're supposed to be. And I'm gonna just kind of turn it to low, because you don't need to watch me fry all these, but we do want to try these. So let's get a plate. Let's try a couple of these here. So I'm going to serve this like they did at Sabatini's. So I'm going to take some of our marinara sauce, which has just been dutifully sitting here, And we'll put it in the middle of the plate. See, I already made a little mess. Oh well. And we'll take our arancinis and put them right in. Okay, everyone, so I brought Kathy in because she really likes these.
Yes.
I don't think I ever ate more than half of one when I was there.
I ate all of them.
So here's a fork for you. So
let's see if they're as good.
Let me try one too.
Ooh, they feel crispy on that side.
They're going to be a little warm, so watch out.
Oh, it's really good.
Are they good? Mm-hmm. I used my finger.
No, they are just like them. They're so good.
All right.
Great job, Pat.
Only 18 more to fry up. Anyway, so I'm Pat from Calm Sea Cooks, and this is Kathy.
Hello.
And this is arancini that we had in Sabatini's on Ruby Princess. I think that's pretty close to what we had.
Yes, and they always gave it to you at the beginning.
Yep, it was the mousse bouche. So if you like recipes like that, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and check out our other cruise channel, Calm Sea Cruise, for our adventures on Ruby Princess and other ships. And we will see you the next time. Bye.